Benzino responds to being nearly robbed by Tony Yayo and them G-Unit boys. Let's get into the content, fam.
From my recall, we was Source Awards. It was broad daylight. I was with my man Hawk, and for some reason, usually I had all my jewelry on early as walking down the beach. Now that was crazy, because I don't remember always doing that. But it was the daylight. Not that I was worried about anything, but I don't usually wear everything because I had the big Gladiator. That was $500,000. Then I had the Z piece that was like $1 million. So then I had the 3, and I had the masterpiece. Then I had dumb jewelry on. And I just remember walking, and this was broad daylight. Didn't have a strap. This is on Collins Avenue. Why would I need a strap on Collins Ave at like 12 in the afternoon? But, you sometimes, boy, you get caught your pants down. But I remember him jumping out, and his man, Lodi Mac, I didn't know, we did our homework. He's not Lodi Mac, ain't here no more. But he jumped out, and I just remember he kept going in his pocket like, yo, what's up? And they screaming, like he getting loud. And Yayo's like, yo, what's up, man? What it is? I was like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm standing on the sidewalk, me and Hawk. And Hawk's kind of big. But they jump out. Now, Hawk said he seen 50 in the car. He said 50 was in, it was a Suburban, I think. A black Suburban, tinted out. And again, Lodi's behind him. He's like, yo, what's up? What you want? You want it? He's saying something like that. Now, I'm not saying nothing. I'm like, what's up? I did say, what's up? And then I just remember, the girl said, get back. A girl was screaming, get back in the car, get back in the car. They jumped in the car and took off. And that was it. I don't remember the past shit and all that. I don't remember. And even like, oh no, I ain't never been in a situation where said, hey, you want to pass? Because if it was the other way around, I would have stripped him. If we pulling up, if me and my from Boston, I can name a bunch of them, are pulling up and he got jewelry on, walking down Collins, and we pulling up and I'm strapped up, all that shit would have came off. 100%. Ain't no fucking way I'm gonna be like, you want to pass or do you want it and all that. We don't do that. We don't do that from Boston. We don't do all that. We would have ran right up on his ass and we'd have stripped him. And that didn't happen. So I don't know what type of theatrics. Again, he's the storyteller dude. I told you, the whole thing about Murder Inc. He just lied about that. See, one thing for sure, two things for certain, right? People who come up under other guys. See, we built different in Boston, right? Like though I was the head, I always stood shoulder to shoulder with all my guys. You know what I'm saying? If my guys ever did an interview and talked about like how he gets paid to talk about 50. His conversations are only about 50 cents. He has nothing to talk about himself. He's a hype man. He's 50's guy. But he gets paid to talk about another man. I couldn't do it. My sons would never do it. And that I came up, I wouldn't even want them to do that. I know they wouldn't, but I'd feel a way if it would be talking about me like I'm, you know what I'm saying? I just, and I get it. See, I get a lot of guys came up under guys. I watch Bleak talk about Jay. Yayo talk about 50. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand it because I guess they so big. You know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, you got to talk about yourself. You got to talk about you and your legacy. You know what I'm saying? I don't, it is what it is. I don't knock nobody for what they doing. That's how he gets paper. He get booked to talk about 50. People pay him to talk about 50. I like I said, the Shannon Sharp interview threw me for a loop because, of course, it's going to be, of course, Yayo's going to say them and this and that, but how does Shannon jump in and say, yeah, Ja Rule's low-hanging fruit? He blew my mind when he said that. He f***ed me up. That's when I knew, like, Shannon, I knew he's losing his way. He's losing his way. Ja Rule has arguably one of the biggest catalogs in hip-hop history that he's still making thousands of dollars, millions of dollars from and doing shows from, feeding his family, black man. But Shannon Sharp said Ja Rule's low-hanging fruit. See, that's the problem with these podcasts and hip hop. It's giving people the illusion like they with the culture and they with the people when they're really not. It's an illusion. And, you know, he's not the only one. You know, I know these guys didn't come up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like me calling somebody from the NFL low-hanging fruit. Why would I do that when I know I can't do nothing on that field? I can't do nothing on that field. And especially to like an all-star, like it's one thing to have, you can have, you know, everybody has sports talk where you know, everybody talks shit, whatever, but it's like, come on, man, in public, it just, you know, I get frustrated when I see shit like that. It's just, there's no call for it, man. Like, I don't understand.
Look, shout out Tony Yayo, man. You put some respect on his name. Tony Yayo make his money just like everybody else making their money. Streaming, content creating, fam. He's doing his interviews. He gonna say what he answering the questions that they're presenting. Like, you can't say Tony Yayo don't got nothing to talk about, bro. He just ain't gotten to his own story just yet. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Now, 50 is 50. 50 been around, but the front men is not the people you should know. You should know the people that's behind the screen. You don't know the people that's in front of the camera. You got to know the people that's behind the camera, that's making shit happen that you don't know about. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Shout out Tony Yayo. Like I said, he's making his money on just BENZINO. You're talking. If it wasn't for BENZINO talking on interviews, would you really know anything about him? In 2025, let's just be honest, let's just be real. He wasn't a figure until he became a interview figure. You know what I mean? Until he became an interview figurant, he wasn't even thought about like that. Let's just be honest, let's just be real. And Tony Yayo would have still been, because he would have still been moving around with 50 Cent. They still touring, bro. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. BENZINO, what you don't understand is, you was right about a couple things, but you was wrong about something. That man did give you a pass. If you had $1.5 million on you, nigga, you don't think a nigga could have took it if he wanted to, bro? Don't be stupid. But Tony Yayo gotta be smarter than he look. You know what I mean? Yeah, Tony Yayo, he's smarter than he look, even though he's a crook and they got caught. You know what I mean? One thing about it is, if you gonna do the dut, don't get caught. That's the number one rule. Yeah, if you don't know that, you don't know nothing about Thug motivation. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You wasn't living like that. But the number one rule, don't get caught. You know what I mean? Point blank, period. But I don't even know what his charges was, what got him in there. But whatever, don't get caught. But like I said, that nigga know you gonna go tell it. You know what I mean? Why would he take 1.5, man? Come on, man. 50 would have beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Real shit. It wasn't sanctioned either. Man, you think he gonna go do something like that and fuck up 200 million for 1.5? Maybe that's what you say it was appraised that. And nigga melt that shit down and get half of nothing. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Drop it in the comments. But one thing that you was right about, Zeno, Ja Rule got a hell of a catalog. For everybody that be downplaying what Ja Rule has done in hip-hop, bro, slap yourself in the fucking face. Yeah, slap yourself in the face, nigga. When you're able to find your chill and finally go through Ja Rule's catalog, nigga, you would know, give it about 2-3 days, nigga, you would know it word for word. I'm just being honest, just being real. Man, drop it in the comments. Put some respect on Ja Rule's name. Everybody that's just starting to get into hip-hop 2025, bro, that nigga shit's still relevant, you know, right today. You know what I mean? Now, the G-Unit shit, 51st album, yeah, that first album, you could still jam that shit. That shit's still relevant. But most of that music didn't survive the test of time, fam. Just being honest, just being real, you know what I mean? Drop it in the comments. Curtis, Boo-Boo, I like him, you know what I mean? I like him. But everybody ain't all wrong. Everybody ain't all right. You got to see through, bro, you got to be able to see through the tent. You know what I mean? You got to be able to see through the tent and see what it is for you to understand what it's gonna be. You know, just being honest, just being real. Drop it in the comments. Cars from the Playground. Like, share, subscribe. Nigga, peace. And we going up. Yeah, I got to always add that. Got to always add that and remind motherfuckers, because niggas got to know. You got to know, nigga. We going up. Drop it in the comments. Scores from the Playground. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.
If they throw it, I'ma catch it to play the game like Tetris. I'm one of a kind rap. People tell me I'm a clip. I've been working 24 hours, summertime to winter. I ain't really at the chill, it gotta be about business.